Alright, bourgeois relatives. I am Chinoden, and you are back with another episode of Follow That Flow. Now, before I get started, please, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and also hit that notification button. I have all my links in the description, the social media outlets, and then videos for other people's stuff that I like, that I think is relevant to what I'm posting here. And also I got programs that I'm part of. MPA and MPCA turned into a traffic exchange for the time being. They're getting their other programs to start bringing in revenue. So if you're in MPA and MPCA and you haven't been paying attention, well, I'm sure you have, because you're not making any money there right now. They turned it into a traffic exchange, and you can also do cash links there. I'm with John from Currency 365 on that. They should just turn that site into a cash link heaven, because we got one called BTC Clicks, which I have in the description. BTC Clicks, you earn micro Bitcoin daily by clicking cash links. And if you're an advertiser, if you got something to advertise, you can also buy advertising products from there, or cash link, basically. That's all BTC Clicks is basically just a cash link site. So I think if they followed that model, they would make so much money. Especially because they're not dealing in microbit, micro bitcoins or millibitcoins or whatever you call it. They're actually working in Bitcoin. So if they're doing, like, let's say a cash link will get me 0.000011166, but then you have other levels of cash links to where you get like a 60 second long advertisement that would bring in a pretty awesome amount of Bitcoin for the viewer, whoever's viewing the ads, and it would also, the advertiser would get paid quite a bit too. So I think that is a fantastic idea. But they do what they do. Udenara, he's got his plan. So alright, breaking. Chile silver production down a stunning 26%. Oh, before we go, check it out. Silver went back down. Let me let me just refresh this one. So this I just refreshed this not too long ago, and we're $3 down. Gold's still above 1250, 1256.36, and then silver had gone down since I last saw it yesterday. We'll let that load up. But yeah, so breaking. Chile silver production down a stunning 26%. This is a big deal. From our SRS Rocco. According to the most recently released data from Chile's Ministry of Mining, the country's silver production declined a stunning 26% in the first quarter of 2017. This is a big deal, as Chile is the fourth largest silver producing country in the world. The majority of Chile's silver production comes as a byproduct of copper production. Chile is the largest copper producer in the world by a long shot. Last year, Chile produced 5.5 million tons of copper, compared to Peru, who took a distant second place at 2.3 million tons. Regardless, Chile's silver production declined to a 283.4 metric tons in quarter 1 2017 versus 383.8 metric tons during the same quarter last year. Again, this is a huge 26% decline in the first 3 months of the year. Will we see more of a decline? Oh, yeah, so there's that visual. That's what 26% looks like. Chile's silver production declined 101 metric tons, that's 3.2 million ounces, in Q1 2017 due to a strike at the country's largest copper mine, Escondida, as well as a drop-off in copper production from many other producers. For example, the 20 copper-producing mines and companies listed on Chile's Ministry of Mining report, 12 of them stated lower copper production Q1 2017 compared to the same period last year. Thus, the strike at Escondida only accounted for a portion of the overall decrease in byproduct silver production experienced across the entire industry. The majority of Chile's silver production decline took place in March. So as you can see, all the numbers are down here, or for each month. The numbers are down. More so in February. Well, it did that. Okay, that must be like a. You get off to a good start, and then you slow down a little bit, and then you pick up speed again. I don't know. Is that how it feels? I think that's how it feels in the grand scheme of things. Because even in the window cleaning industry, we'd be busy all the way up until January, and then February everything would drop off, and then in March everything would come back up. So, I mean, is that just like a bigger picture kind of ebb and flow type thing? I don't know. According to the Cochilco's data, silver production fell 16% in January, 29% in February, and 34% in March. In just the month of March, Chile's silver production declined 45 metric tons. That is a huge drop off in just 1 month. Even though Chile's Ministry of Mining forecasts that copper and byproduct silver production will recover by the second half of the year, the world economy continues to stagnate under a massive amount of debt and derivatives. I believe we will see falling copper prices as overall demand for the king base metal continues to weaken during the latter part of 2017 and into 2018. This will put a great deal of stress on many of Chile's copper mining companies' ability to make profits. So we may soon experience peak global copper production once and for all. For those individuals who want to make sure that I am not pulling these figures off the top of my head, here is the actual table of gold and silver production from Chile's Ministry of Mining website. So we already, I had already covered that the gold and silver production, the mining production across the board has really taken a hit this year so far. Good thing for physical prices. Alright, here's what he's talking about. Not only is Chilean silver production down 26% in the first 3 months of the year, gold mine supply is also down 22%. While a 22% decline in Chile's gold production is substantial, though the country only produced 43.3 metric tons, 1.4 million ounces in 2016 compared to 1496 metric tons, that's 48.1 million ounces of silver. Chile isn't the only country suffering from falling silver production this year, just as I said. As I stated in a previous article, huge decline of Peru's silver production suggests future production at risk. Peru's silver production declined 12% February 7, 2017 versus the same month last year. And there's that visual. So what we are witnessing here is that world's top 2 copper producers are suffering large declines in their byproduct silver production. This to me is a warning sign that the situation for byproduct silver production will likely continue to deteriorate in the future as base metal prices trend lower as economic activity slows. Clarification on silver supply and demand forces. There seems to be many precious metals investors on my site and on other blogs who believe that all these supply and demand figures are meaningless because the price of silver hasn't really performed all that well since 2012. I agree. However, my focus on silver supply and demand forces is not to determine a short-term silver price. Rather, I look at what is taking place over an ongoing trend. Yes. For example, I have published articles on the huge increase in physical silver investment demand since the 2008 U.S. housing and banking crisis. That's going to happen again real quick. Look at the bubbles. Look at the housing market. Look at the real estate market. That bubble, and then the stock market, and then the bonds market. Look at those bubbles. You got something that's growing like that without, I mean, it's just gonna it's gonna tank. It's not like Bitcoin where Bitcoin's actually currency. Like, you can trade it for things. Like, you can't trade a house for things. You can't trade paperwork for a house or for things. I don't know. Maybe in large transactions, but you know. And then you got the bank. The banks. Anyways, furthermore, putting out articles on what is taking place as it pertains to world silver supply isn't to forecast what the change will do to the price of silver in 2017, but rather how the declining trend will impact the price going forward. So for those precious metals investors who continue to bellyache that all these supply and demand figures don't really change the silver current price that much, I know that. For Pete's sakes. LOL. I am more concerned about the ongoing trend and what is going to happen over the mid to longer term. Lastly, the Silver Institute just released their 2017 World Silver Survey, and I have been looking over it. I will be publishing a few interesting articles on some of the data from the report, as I believe they are a telltale sign that owning physical silver will benefit those immensely in the future. Yes. And if you don't mind, sir, I will read those to people. Alright, so here we go. Silver is actually down $16.55, that's 40 cents, and gold just reached $12.50.76, that's $8.60 down. Okay, gold strong, USD, and stock slump as impeach chart spikes. So, okay, look at that. Boom. People are looking to impeach Trump. And what, Kissinger at White House signals bigger scandal than Comey. Maybe I'll do an article or a video on that as well. Escalation begins. Memo to Comey by Trump puts the president's credibility in hot water. Chances of an impeachment spike from 19% to 29% in a flash. Gold rallies, the U.S. dumps, and stock markets begin to slide. Yesterday, another bombshell has been uncovered in the circumstances surrounding FBI Director Comey's termination by POTUS Trump. It is apparently the despot protestations to the otherwise. Trump sent a memo to Comey asking the director to cease investigating Michael Flynn. This is a contradiction in what already has been an incredulous line of logic shown by the White House in handling the situation. The result? Congress wants to speak to Comey directly. Comey is going to sing like a bird. Tweet, tweet. But who knows how much information he's going to... I don't know, man, because they got him on all kinds of stuff, right? Ain't nobody's privacy safe anymore. What you guys thinking? You guys think you can just do all this bad stuff and just get away with it forever? What? You know what? 2017 is the year that the light will expose the darkness in the world, and bring a balance back. All right. For our part, what started what started out as a journalistic coverage, eerily quiet in its coverage of the earlier circumstances surrounding Comey's dismissal, is now snowballing into something that pushes the limits of circumstantial evidence showing a pattern of potential abuse of office. Obviously, that's been happening for freaking 500 years here. This, in turn, as the law goes, is quickly reaching critical mass to a point where discovery of sorts is going to happen. And not unlike the gold manipulation cases, once that door is open for people to get access to actual fact-finding, the law excels. This is very bad for Trump. It is very bad for the U.S. regardless of his innocence or guilt. It casts a large shadow of uncertainty on the USA as a stable government which may be headed towards a constitutional crisis. Markets react. The dollar is lower, gold is higher, and stocks are getting hit. While it is hard to state outright that the increase in uncertainty surrounding the things is the cause of the market gyrations, it is a pattern worth watching. And like I keep saying, all this is the bad guys are being let. The alliance, the behind the scenes alliance that is at work fighting this cabal, is basically letting all the bad guys play out their part so that they are going to be exposed in front of the public so that the public can have their free will uninfringed and make their own choices about who they should be locking up and who they should be supporting. Now, it's up to this grassroots effort, people like me and people just like standing up and just starting to do videos, starting to spread the truth in person to people, starting to learn what is actually going on and spreading the truth through different means. It is up to us at the ground level, on the street level, in the grassroots. We have to stand up and start doing this, and we see this all over YouTube. That's why they started censoring YouTube. We've seen it, the start of it at Standing Rock. We've seen to the extent of which we were being censored, because when they were being shot with them rubber bullets and they're in sub-freezing temperatures and they were being sprayed with water cannons and people were going, hyperventilating, getting hypothermia, and these, these corporations are, it's insane what's happening here, because I literally, when that happened, my father and his significant other was here, and we were watching this stuff happen, and we're like, what is going on? Why isn't the news covering this? And so I had an idea to start posting this video that we were watching to NBC, MSNBC, all their websites, or all their Facebook profile or pages. I started doing that to all their Facebook pages in their comments, and nothing ever was seen on TV. It was insane. I was like, what is going on here? Why aren't they, like, what is this? So now we literally see the mainstream media attacking the president, who's actually trying to do good for, well, as far as like the whole whistleblower thing and various other things. I mean, Trump thought he was going to get in there and it was going to be easy time. But you know what? I don't necessarily believe that Trump is acting all on his own. I think there is an alliance, and Trump's going to be exposed too, as we are seeing, because he's not innocent. I mean, Anybody with that much money, like how did they get to that point? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, sure, it may have been a lot of hard work and effort, but there is bound to have been some screwing over going on somewhere. He screwed somebody over somewhere. I don't know. That's not for me to say. That's all speculation. That's just me bringing up stuff to think about. But as far as like the bigger picture, Trump's really not in charge. And I believe that we're going to see, I don't know, the partial disclosure that the cabal wanted to happen is happening a lot faster than what they wanted. It's people like us who are out here putting videos out every day, reporting on articles that we're seeing, reporting on stuff that we find on the internet that is being censored elsewhere on TV, on Facebook, on YouTube. And you go to all these alternative sites and there's people actually telling you what's going on in their part of the world, which we're not even hearing at all over TV. We're hearing a bunch of nonsense on TV, a bunch of made up stuff. Oh man, it's just one big giant weird thing going on. So I don't know if I mean you get the point from this. We read the summary. The dollar is lower, gold is higher, stocks are getting hit. While it is hard to state outright that the increases in uncertainty surrounding things is the cause of market gyrations, it is a pattern worth watching. Yeah, it's pretty long. Events leading up to yesterday's news, it gets worse. Let's see. I don't know. This seems pretty good. I will read. I will read the whole thing. Fine. Twist my arm. The latest scandal to embroil the White House is moving markets. With the dollar bearing the brunt of the initial reaction, the euro traded over $1.11 this morning for the first time since early November, and the yen was trading at 112.41 to the dollar by 5:28 a.m. That's Eastern time. Gold rallied overnight, and the MSCI Asia Pacific Index declined 0.3%, while Japan's Topix Index dropped 0.5%. In Europe, the Stoxx 1600 was a 0.3% lower at 5:35 a.m., with banks among the worst performers. S&P futures slid 0.6%. Markets are looking 2 steps ahead, and according to the predicate, my bad. Trump's odds of getting impeached in 2017 have soared from 19% to 29%. A 50% surge in the NYT story broke. Gold is up $11 this morning, and stocks are lower with the USD. Impeachment chances spike. There's the chart. And then here we got gold. Rising since May 1st. So yeah, we had a pretty harsh drop, and then now we're making a rise again. Slowly but surely. Let's get silver up over 17, and let's break those resistance points and keep going. The USD is down and stocks are starting to suffer. Hourly charts of global equities reveal the problem and confirm the gold rally is no fluke. Take note of the VIX, which is up today. Every market is down, starting last night with some gapping lower. No kidding. Wow. That happened just last night. Oh. Pretty cray-cray. More interesting but little noted. Yesterday, The VIX was up even higher was up even in a higher market. Yeah, what the heck? That was weird. This suggests always that hedgers are coming in and is a sign of news leakage. Sometimes it is actually bullish in that it means stockholders have no intention of selling their holdings and are content to just buy puts. But usually it means that for every person buying a put, there are 5 who are not hedging. Those people will be the ones dumping stocks in a washout. Be very careful here. If the markets drop due to political uncertainty, then it will be closure that will make them rally. And that means no V-shaped bottom. Certainty is a mile away once this impeachment stuff starts. We do not think you'll hear stories of econ buying at the bottom this time. In fact, we'd bet Carl is selling right now. Now, man, I was hearing this is crazy. Last year, I was hearing that I don't know. I think it might have been on like Intel Dinar Chronicles blog spot, which I've learned my lesson from looking at that. When I started, I found Currency 365 because I was watching the Iraqi investment. Something tipped me off last year. Oh yeah, it was I don't know, it was weird, man. Like a couple days before the Chinese yuan got added to the SDR basket of currencies, like I didn't even read anything. I like it's something Gichimani told me. Start looking at the dinar again, because I heard about this back in 2013. I was working commercial roofing, and I worked with a guy that worked with a bunch of Amish people in his past, and this guy, he had his dad was all into the dinar and constantly watching it every day. So he was telling me all about it, and I was like, oh wow, I should watch that. So I watched it for a little bit in 2013, and I kind of lost interest because I knew it wasn't anywhere near fruition. So yeah, like a couple days, like a couple weeks before October of 2016, and I had this, I was being told, watch the Iraqi dinar, Chinoden, and then watch for something to happen on October 1st. So and then I started paying attention, and all of a sudden I started hearing about the Chinese yuan going to be added to the IMF's SDR basket of currencies. So then, lo and behold, October 1st, I checked. I was on YouTube checking stuff, and then all of a sudden I see the Chinese yuan, like it was a video by the IMF and Christine Lagarde and all this other stuff, and I was like, wow. And then I was like, man, I do need to start watching the dinar. And that's when I started watching Bitcoin too, and I watched Bitcoin rise up to $1,000, and I was like, oh my god, I gotta start paying attention. So that was my start to this journey, well, into the financial world and paying attention to what's going on here. But anyways, what got us where we are this morning? Meanwhile, another revelation. A memo from James Comey reportedly quotes Trump asking the former FBI director to drop the investigation of Michael Flynn. Now, Congress wants to hear from Comey directly. Trump is facing his deepest crisis yet after a memo written by then FBI Director James Comey surfaced on Tuesday alleging that the president asked him to drop an investigation of former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn. Democrats say that, if true, Trump's request could amount to obstruction of justice. Noah Feldman, a professor of constitutional and international law at Harvard University, says that while it may not be a legal crime, that would also be an impeachable offense. Is it how many days is it into? I think it was. Is it 100? When's 120 days into Trump's inauguration? From January 20th. 120 days. Right about now. See, and last year I was hearing that Trump's going to be our president for 120 days, and then there's going to be a re-election or something. Something's going on here. Something's going on, and then I was hearing that Paul Ryan was going to step in as interim president, and then somebody else is going to come in after a while. So, right, yeah. If they put a globalist in position, we're screwed, you guys. No, we're not screwed. No, we're not screwed. You know what? It's okay. Those of us who know what's going on, we're going to have the power to move freely. And it's our responsibility to help the ones that aren't able to. Alright. Uncertainty unleashed. I know I'm getting a little, it's getting a little lengthy here, but please bear with me. Uncertainty unleashed. Further to that point, as gold is rising now, currently, with the odds of an impeachment process for the president beginning, we thought, let me read that again. Further to the point, as gold is rising now, concurrently with the odds of an impeachment process for the president beginning, we thought this counterintuitive allows us to explain our well thought out but wrong logic. This is certainty happening, and impeachment reduces uncertainty. If anything, once it is in the law's hands, markets should trust in the law as a stabilizing effect, right? Apparently not. SKG contributor and corporate executive George Spanakopita had this to add in a word. He said, wrong. He goes on to explain here. That is the wrong way to look at it. Impeachment is not the end. It is the beginning. Who knows what more uncertainty could come out of it? Or could come of it. Excuse me. Worse still would be if the threat of impeachment hangs over the president for 4 years and nothing happens. The U.S. will be hamstrung in its effectiveness globally. Domestic agendas will be sidelined, and uncertainty will go from acute to chronic. A cancer on the American psyche will take hold. No, the discussion of potential impeachment is a precipitous rise in uncertainty. The markets are getting it right, and God forbid an impeachment process starts. Who knows the depths of what it may uncover? Certainly, what is found out will not encourage confidence in the U.S. government. Right. So, you know what? When there's going to be a lot of revelations here, and there's going to be a lot of pissed off people, and that's what David Wilcock was saying, and Corey as well. When people find out what has actually really been happening, when all this stuff comes out, the Alliance is working to bring all of this information to the forefront so that the public can make their own choices about who they support with an informed opinion. Because a lot of stuff out there's just, oh. But anyways, everybody's being exposed right now. If you can't tell, it's very clear. All you have to do is just look around. Everybody is being exposed right now. And that's why I keep saying 2017 is the year that the light will expose the darkness. And all the corrupt shall fail in everything that they do. They will be exposed. And the people, the good people with love in their hearts, will rise up to once again bring this world back to a peaceful, balanced state of being. Following the logic with which we agree, certainty is a casualty already. Impeach and you see a long, painfully dragged out process in which the seeming underbelly of what goes on behind closed doors is revealed. Don't impeach, but the threat looms is a cancer on our government's ability to function. I go for option A, even though that means it might be people be freaking out. You know what? So be it. if that's what it takes for the truth to come out. But I think that people are more resilient and more. I think that it's not going to be chaos. Maybe in some places, but there's already a ton of people out there that are ready for this information, that are ready to just move on from this nonsense, all this. I don't know. Yeah. Anyways. The only way this ends well is an unimpeachable clarification that exonerates and explains things, but we all know that it is too late. Or that is too late. The other way this ends is that whatever the issue truly is reaches critical mass quickly, and in doing so, the president resigns before the sausage factory is opened up to the public. And I've made a prediction that the president would have to resign at some point this year, based upon the things that I was hearing, that I was reading. The latter is what eventually happened to Nixon. The former, while far from honest, is what happened with Clinton. Trump may not really want to have won the election, but he certainly will not allow himself to be fired. Scorched earth is his MO, going as far back as the 1980s when he essentially told banks, "You can't let me default. I will take you down with me if I do." Escalation begins. First, it was CNN's Wolf Blitzer who brought up the possibility of impeaching President Trump in an interview with independent Senator Angus King. If these allegations, Senator, are true, are we getting closer and closer to the possibility of yet another impeachment process? Blitzer asked. Reluctantly, Wolf, I have to say yes, simply because obstruction of justice is such a serious offense, King responded. It gets worse. That was just the beginning from Zero Hedge. Shortly thereafter, a group of President Trump's most outspoken critics seized the Comey controversy to make a very early push for impeachment. According to Fox News, the latest call from Representative Al Green of Texas, who released a statement suggesting Comey's ouster from atop the FBI was an obstruction of the investigation of the president's campaign ties to Russian influence in his 2016 presidential election. Get over this whole frickin' Russian thing, man. It's stupid. It makes no sense. Whatever. He said Trump has committed acts that amount to intimidation and obstruction. See, they're trying to push this whole Russian thing because Russia is trying to help the good parts of the United States get rid of this deep state crap. Or maybe. Is that what's going on? Is that what's really going on? According to a lot of top insiders. I don't know, but there is factions of that alliance that want to prolong, like make a partial disclosure, and I guess that's what's happening now. But we have the power to push that partial disclosure forward because there's enough of us out here that know a lot of information that the insiders know now because of people like David Wilcock and all these other whistleblowers that he's interviewed. He's got a show called Disclosure on Gaia where he interviews whistleblowers and he creates like an arc with these. He brings in these whistleblowers and interviews them on his show. So that's pretty cool. Anyways, he said Trump has committed acts that amount to intimidation and obstruction. Our mantra should be ITN, impeach Trump now, Green wrote in an email, which included a line in red pushing those who received the email to forward this email to others who may be interested. Green joined other Democratic lawmakers like Representative Maxine Waters, California, who has been discussing impeachment for months. Waters took to Twitter in April saying that she would fight every day until he's impeached. She later denied calling for impeachment, but on Thursday renewed her push during an interview with MSNBC's Chris Hayes. You know, this is all just a bunch of crap. Just a bunch of crap. That's all it is. And it's the people who are brainwashed by globalists. It's the globalists that are pushing this crazy, erratic agenda to destroy anything good in this world. if you are a fan of Obama, if you are a fan of John McCain, if you are a fan of Hillary Clinton, if you are a fan of all these globalist people with this shady agenda, man, you have to turn that mindset around and start to see what has Obama done throughout his whole time he was in office. Dropped bombs and took our freedoms away. And people praise him for that. He allowed people and encouraged people to start killing their own babies in utero. And now they're trying to say that killing newborn babies is just the same as having an abortion. There's nothing wrong. They're trying to say nothing wrong with that. Well, I've got news for you. It is very wrong. And it is unauthorized. You're not authorized to do these things to us anymore. And that's why I keep saying what I say. So this has gone on too long. Just let me read this. Events leading up to yesterday's news. In the aftermath of the Washington Post's report that President Trump divulged top secret information to Russian officials, National Security Advisor H.R. McMaster issued... Okay, if there's all this hacking going on, what top secret information is there to give? It's already all out there. Claiming that Trump's actions were wholly appropriate and that he did not know where the information came from. Most of Trump's defenders have emphasized that he didn't know what he was doing. For his part, Trump tweeted that he wanted to share facts pertaining to terrorism with Russia, which, writes Julia Loff, could mean he's playing into Putin's hands. The consequences of this slip may be severe. It's a breach of faith with the intelligence community, with U.S. allies. Why are so many people in the U.S. hell-bent on starting stuff with Russia? Like, why can't we all just cooperate together? Huh? Why can't we all just cooperate and start contributing to each other out of giving for the sake of giving? Why can't we just do that? That seems like a much better business model instead of hiding stuff from other people and just being stupid. This is how they keep the wars going. We will not even get into a circumstantially suspicious reality that one of Trump's advisors who suggested he fire Comey had already recused himself due to his own misleading lies under oath regarding the same topic. This alone is enough of a contradiction to cause more investigation, not of Trump, but of the advisor who thought it appropriate to break his own recusal to write a memo suggesting Comey's termination. Bad stuff. We are not fading the metals rally. Especially if the buyers are non-American. This is highly probable as the Chinese and Russian are looking to get out of USD. This is one event that could make them buy strength as opposed to dips. So with that, I am out for the time being. We'll come back with some more videos and stuff. So I am Chinoden. This is Follow That Flow. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, hit that like button, hit that notification button. I got all my links in the description. Social media, rev share advertising platforms, ways for you to make money through doing some stuff like this. We need more people to stand up and report on this stuff. We need more people to raise their voices and start writing intelligent articles and start doing stuff like this. This is what needs to happen. This is the grassroots effort that Corey Good was talking about. Keep doing videos every day. Keep making noise. Keep saying, hey, this is not right, and we're not going to put up with this. We're not going to authorize this. This is completely unauthorized, and you have no right to do this to us. So that's what needs to happen here. Okay? So go check out all the other videos that I have in the description, and You guys have a lovely day until I talk to you next time, or night, wherever you guys are. Peace. Peace, peace, peace. Later.